Hello, I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and I want to thank all of our moderators, expert guests, and solution sponsors for participating in these Inside Jam panel discussions. This has been a big year of changes with the launch of the all-new, always-on InsideJam.com community site. For the past 4 years, everyone here at Solutions Review has been leaning in to build the Insight Jam into a celebration of enterprise technology, with best practices, expert analysis, and solution showcases. And we want all of you to join us there to keep the jam going into the new year and beyond. If you haven't joined Insight Jam, please do. And if you already have, take a moment to invite some of your colleagues. And again, thank you all for being here and enjoy today's discussion.
Solutions Review presents Inside Jam, a social media community for enterprise technology. Hello and welcome back to Inside Jam Live. My name is Jonathan Paul. I'm the Director of Multimedia and Events here at Solutions Review. And we're continuing Work Tech Wednesday with another great topic, improving experiences with AI-powered customer engagement. And we've assembled a great group of experts to help talk all about that, including our moderator, Michael Israel. Thank you for joining us, one and all. Excited to have you here. Let's begin the show with some short introductions. 30 seconds or less. Tell the audience a bit about yourself and what excites you about today's topic. Michael, we'll start with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Michael Israel. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I am the head of field service evangelism for the company known as Zuper. And Zuper is the producer of a field service management software platform.
Excellent. Thank you. Dan, you're up.
Yes, hi. So I'm Dan Aldridge. I'm the Director of North America for Merino Consulting Services. We are an ERP software implementation firm and digital transformation and ERP software selection.
Thank you very much and welcome back. Isabel, how about you?
Hi, Isabel Guis. I'm the Global CMO and CEO North America of Brevo, a customer relationship management company with very easy, simple to use solution. And I'm very excited about today's topic because I also was a former AI engineer. So glad to see both marketing and AI merging.
Awesome. Thank you. Ivan, welcome.
Hi, my name is Ivan. I'm Chief Business Officer of Infobip. Hello from Chicago. And Infobip is a global cloud communication firm, full stack, powering digital communication of various large enterprises around the world and providing customer engagement within communication channels also of large enterprises all around the world, in particular in the United States. Hello, everyone.
Hello yourself. Thank you for joining. Jason, how are you?
Great. Thank you. My name is Jason Barris. I'm a Senior Vice President at Infragistics. We are a enterprise software vendor. We have low-code tooling, BI tools, and digital workplace tools. And of course, AI is exciting to us because we serve not only software developers, but marketeers, sales, and anyone in the enterprise that needs digital collaboration. So there's touch points everywhere that we can improve customer experience.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Raghu, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm Raghu. I'm co-founder and CEO for Yellow AI. Yellow AI is an autonomous customer experience platform. We help 1,500 plus global enterprises automate customer support, marketing, and commerce on chat and voice through GenAI powered virtual assistants.
Excellent. Thank you one and all for being here. Really looking forward to this discussion. So I'm going to step out of the way. Michael, you've agreed to moderate. So if you want to kick off the first question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me to be part of this program. I'm very excited about it. And as we all know, AI is a very, very hot topic today and will continue to be so going forward. So let me start with the first question, and I'll ask everybody to just kind of answer in turn. This is a two-part question. It says, what are the most significant ways AI technology has changed how companies interact with customers? That's part one. Part two is, what effect has the emergence of generative AI had or will continue to have on existing trends? So Dan, let me start with you.
Sure. So with customer service, with things like sales order entry, customer service personnel entering orders and things, the AI is given them with co-pilots and things like that, has given them a lot of opportunity to learn about the customer kind of on the fly and make queries about the customer's history right on the fly, so they can better understand the customer in kind of a 360 view.
Mhm.
They can also get engagement history from places like emails and things like that, because all this data is going from whatever system into the data lake. So and it in general, it's just increased the speed and the accuracy at which sales order entry people, customer service reps, and things like that can respond to customer needs, and really also what types of things they can suggest with some suggestive selling and things like that. So
Great, thank you. Isabel.
Sure. So complementary to what Dan said, two things. First, I've been in the marketing tech stack for a long time and teaching it as well. AI has always been present. This is not new. We have plenty of AI in chatbots, in market analysis and segmentation. What I think right now, why we're getting so much buzz, is because of generative AI, where we can actually, instead of just understanding the data and getting insight, taking action and creating content. And content has been the biggest bottleneck for marketers. Wow. Because customer journeys are very complex, different. Like some people spend more time on awareness, others on consideration. And we had already the capability to create hundreds of segments, but nobody could actually custom hyper-personalized content to those hundreds of segments. And now we can do that, and we can do it at scale. And that's what is very interesting and fascinating. Personalizing the content at scale and reaching out on the right channels. Everybody's different, SMS, WhatsApp, and now we can do this almost in real time. Some of these we embed in our existing solution like Brevo, but also new vendors out there, more specialized, are coming in, and it's very exciting to see.
Great, thank you very much. And Raghu, how about you?
Yes, yeah. Just taking this a level above, I think the fundamentally customer relationship management software, since it started, has been storing customer data, and it's humans who have been managing the relations with end customers. I think with AI and generative AI, software has evolved from a store of customer data to actually taking over and managing the entire relationships with the end customers. And that has fundamentally changed what software can do in customer engagement. It started off with managing customer support and automating requests, but with the latest advancements, it is actually driving empathetic conversations, making decisions. So taking the entire customer relationship management from humans to software and automation.
Okay, understood. Great, thank you very much. And let's see, who's next? Jason, you want to add your thoughts, please?
Yeah, real quick, Michael, thank you. To sort of latch on to what Dan and Raghu said about general customer satisfaction, I think that's a huge area that AI does move us forward. So yeah, owning this customer relationship, that doesn't mean it's making necessarily the closing the deal, but it's making the customer experience better. It's giving the customer information faster. So when we're working with chatbots or interactions within tooling, as Dan said, like we can get that 360 degree view of a customer in the data lake. Well, that means that when you are dealing with that customer through AI or human, the customer is getting answers, results, information faster. And then you can get more information faster from that. Like, what's the sentiment analysis of this customer? Can we do some predictive analytics through dashboards or BI? So I think all of that has just dramatically raised the level on what we can do on that customer experience side, similar to the marketing story where, yeah, marketing now is just one of the biggest users of AI in terms of generative AI and creating content.
Great. Ivan, I think you're next on the list. Your thoughts, please.
Yes. So my thoughts is that we are in front of something that will change customer engagement fundamentally, like we've never seen before, because we have kind of two mega trends colliding. So one is the rise of generative AI, and the other one is rise of rich communication channels for communicating, like iMessage or WhatsApp or Instagram messengers that are now turning into super apps. So with these two trends colliding, actually, we have an unprecedented opportunity to move, customer journeys to become conversational. So far, as Isabel said, AI was always there, but we didn't really see, this to turn into productivity increase. Because the language is so fundamental to our existence and how we interact, I think that will be possible now. And the first leading indicators, the numbers that we are seeing are really amazing. So, for example, we have moved a full customer support into WhatsApp and automated it through Gen AI, and we see like both cost reduction 30 to 50%, but also actually increase in net promoter score, because as my fellows said here, you have instantaneous responses and so forth. Similar for marketing, we see 3 to 4-fold increase in productivity of marketing campaigns where we deploy AI together, let's say, with conversational channels. So all of these are good leading indicators saying that this time will be different. AI will really lead to automation at scale, and I believe we're really going to witness dramatic change within next, let's say, years or so, when people finish their pilots and move into production.
Yeah, great. Thank you for your thoughts. So let's move on to the next question, which I think is really closely related to the question that you all just asked. And the question is, how do you balance the need for automation with the importance of maintaining a human touch in your customer engagements? And I think that's something that I've heard as well, is that the AI can produce a volume, a lot of information that you all have just referred to. But how do you keep that communication at a human level so that it's not recognized as just a machine spitting out questions or information for you? So let me start actually with Isabel on that one, if you don't mind, Isabel.
Sure. So I do believe automation is using intelligence from AI, but it's not very flexible. AI is more flexible. But at the same time, I think I don't really agree with one of the statements made earlier, where I don't think AI is going to replace everything. I don't think the customer experience will entirely be managed with AI, because at the end of the day, business is based on trust, and you don't trust a machine. The machine will help a human, but I think we have to be very clear and upfront with customer and transparent. There is nothing more deceiving or misleading that you think you're interacting with a human, like a chatbot, and then after 5 questions you realize that it's not a person. They cannot, and right now AI is not super intelligence. By this I mean we haven't reached the level where AI can do things better than the human brain. It can do it faster, but not so. At one point there are scenarios that you need. First. Second, in marketing, it's all about creativity. It's not just productivity and optimization. Yes, you use it to do your campaign, but the content has to be creative. What you need to tell customers has to be relatable. AI doesn't have empathy yet, and everybody's using it. So you're going to have to be different, and that's where human will help. You can use AI to brainstorm, but I will not let AI choose your campaigns. And I will not have it unsupervised by people managing the whole process of customer engagement either. So it's a tool. It's phenomenal in terms of productivity, but I think human is still very much involved.
Yeah, let me go over to Raghu. Raghu, your thoughts on that as well, because you're intimately involved, obviously, with AI solutions. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as our stated vision, we as a company believe that in a reasonable medium-term future, especially related to customer support and some kinds of marketing, we'll have close to zero-touch customer zero-touch experience around support and customer experience in many cases. Right now, we are not ready yet, but we have seen a tremendous improvement over the last 3 years, where the automation rates have gone from 10% to now 90% plus. And the capability of AI right now has become where the interactions can be empathetic. The AI is now able to make decisions And what we think the future will be is it's not like the human is going to get in between the conversation, but the human will be heavily involved in managing the AI and training the AI versus directly interacting with the customers and providing the support and experience. And that's the direction we believe this entire industry will move.
Yeah, I can add to that. I think what is I would love we sell software development tools. I would love to get to that zero touch technical support because it's coding questions. I have a question about how to do this type of software development, or I need help with this code. But you don't want to end up missing the trust, as Isabel said, the empathy, the human emotion. You don't want to, like some of the companies you call today, and it's they try to make everything automated based on prompts. And then you as a customer are extremely frustrated. The first thing you want to do now is try to get past those prompts, or what's the code to get to someone who is a human. And that is the balance between 100% automation, 100% customer facing experience with AI, and then building trust, having empathy. And I know we've all used the different co-pilots and chat tools, but there's nothing worse when it gives you a wrong answer and you say, hey, I don't think that's right. And it says, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, do you really believe that it's so sorry? But that's what we have to overcome over time and how that's communicated to our customers.
Okay, maybe I can build on this answer. So first, I want to give 2 disclaimers before I go answering how to make AI more empathetic. So one disclaimer is I strongly believe in ethical use of AI, and I think industry leaders should also come together to self-regulate. And I'll reflect on something that Isabel says here, because I think we should make it transparent to people when are they talking to a bot or an AI, and when are they talking to human. So that's number one. And number two, I think my strong belief is that AI will allow humans to be more human, so to really have emotional, empathetic discussion, and transactional tasks can be offloaded by AI. Now, to go to the question for another minute, I think there are 2 ways that one can do this, and how we are doing. So one is the bot itself should be designed with the help of conversational experience designers, such that it has those empathetic elements. Plus, the technology itself already allows us today to choose the tone of voice, to choose the character, even to change the character within one conversation. So it can start more funny, and if the question is more serious, can respond more serious. And then the second thing is the human in the loop. So actually, as we are doing kind of enterprise-grade software, we always have algorithms that are sensing sentiments of conversations. So if those sentiments kind of signal to angry customers, we can immediately fail over to a human chat. So bringing human in the loop, as Isabel said, or at least giving a consumer that option will be also fundamental to keep that whole continuum, empathetic and human-like.
Yeah, I'd also maybe like to toss one in here as a follow-up to Ivan. I think the customer interaction, everybody's had the experience with dealing with an AI bot or a phone, messages, and go to this next person, and you want to type, give me a person, right? So I think that that experience is driven by automation, and automation is not, AI can give you the additional capability to kind of bring human interaction. It's an augmenter, or it spurs human interaction in the sense that it prepares a human to have all the information that human needs, and even some predictions if it's needed to respond to a customer very quickly and very accurately. And also, if there are things like, what's my day's sales outstanding in AR, and you're a sales rep or you're a customer service rep, you can immediately get that asked through generative AI Copilot. You can ask what the day's sales outstanding is, and then they say, well, that sounds like a big number, I can send my invoices. So, you know, those are ways that the AI is different from automation, in my opinion. And that's where the human interaction is so important. It's really dealing with exceptions. You know, you talk about management by exception, for instance, right? AI can tell you this is an exception. This is something that needs work, whereas an automation will take care of the stuff that doesn't need work or doesn't need human interaction. So.
Jonathan, I wanted to let you know I'm back online.
Yes. What's up?
So I had gotten kicked off the internet. I'm in a hotel, and unfortunately, they kicked me off for a moment, so I had to rejoin. So
that's fine. We went on without you. Show must go on, as they say.
I knew that you would. So anyway, my apologies to everyone.
No worries at all.
Were we still on the last question that I had asked?
I think they just wrapped it up with Dan's answer there. Yes.
Okay, great. Let's move on to question number 3 then. What considerations should a company make before integrating AI into their customer engagement strategies? And how should companies communicate to customers about their AI initiatives? And I think that's a really, really important part of that question. So having said that, let me, once again, let's start with Jason, if we don't mind. Jason, your thoughts, please.
Yep, thank you. I believe because there's such a rush to AI now, the problem is if you don't have AI, you're like behind. You know, you go to the homepage, if you don't say AI, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to this other vendor. So we you know, talking about marketing automation, we at Infragistics use marketing automation tools. They all have AI on their homepage. No idea how the AI works. And so what you need to do is have a reason for that AI. Just like if you're a design team for a software company, you have a design system. Just like you're a VP of marketing, you have goals on how you want engagement to occur through automation. AI is a product. How am I going to bring value with AI to my customers? So that needs to be thought through. It just can't be, let's throw up a chat bot and then hope and a prayer. So I think looking at AI as a product like anything else, how would you roll that out to customers? What's the customer value? How are we tracking metrics on this new feature or new product that we're bringing out to the market? And don't do AI just for AI. So I know it's a broad answer, but that's how we look at it at Infragistics. And in fact, we have a product called Slingshot. And Slingshot, we implemented a few experimental AI features, and we gauged the usage and how much customers actually liked using those features. And that informed how we can kind of go on to like maybe a version 1.1 or a 1.5. And yeah, we didn't get it right the first time because we wanted to add AI and we didn't have like, oh, this is the perfect reason to do it. So I think it evolves, but look at it as, you know, something meaningful, not just to do AI.
So that's a great point that you brought up, and that is how are the customers receiving it and reacting to it. So let me ask Raghu, could you please address that from your perspective?
Yeah. So companies looking at driving engagement through AI, I feel the first one is have a clear purpose or a business problem that they are looking to solve. Are they looking for enhancing the experience? Are they looking for 24/7 support? Are they looking to improve their conversions on marketing? I think they need to make the clear assessment of the goal. The second one is identify the regulatory and compliance risks associated with this and their industry and the problem that they are trying to solve. For example, if it's a healthcare, what's the sensitivity of the information that we want to drive through this engagement? That becomes a key consideration. The third is the AI-powered engagement is built on top of existing systems and data. It's not creating out new answers and new ways for the brand to communicate, but it's learning from the existing ways that the brand communicates with the existing customers and automates that. So how ready is their existing infrastructure in terms of systems, data to enable these AI-based interactions? And the fourth pillar is around the audit mechanisms and how they are going to manage and control this AI-based engagement. companies need to have answers for all these four clearly before they embark on implementing and driving AI-powered engagement with their consumers.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ivan, can I ask for your thoughts on that, please?
Yeah, so I would say I would recommend companies to think of this at three levels. First is they should think about domain transformation. So what I mean by that, with many digital projects, including AI, we have this disease called pilotitis. So people run around, do like a bunch of pilots, then they try to extrapolate pilots. That usually doesn't work so well. So companies who do it well, they normally kind of take a domain, and let's call it like customer support. And they think through, okay, what's the valuable problem to solve? What's the feasibility? Are there any risk associated? And they literally kind of build out a sort of a roadmap, how to drive the KPIs they want to drive. And then they start with cases. And maybe they start internally, knowledge sharing, and then expose it to their consumers. But really kind of determining domain and working out the roadmap relatively quickly is very important. The second area to think about is the whole overall tech stack. So, it is good to throw AI, but actually there are many AI models. There are some very specialized for support. For example, companies like ASAP. So, you need to think like, first of all, which LLMs do I use for which use case? But then the second of all, what other technology do I need to use? So we're a communications company. You might need various messaging or other channels. You might need a customer data profile to capture data. You actually maybe don't need just an AI bot. You might need to have intent or NLP bots for some to give answers on some very regulated question in an exact form and so forth. So that needs to be thought through, and also what's your cloud infrastructure and so forth. And the third domain is the data. So there was this whole belief when LLMs came in, I can just throw all my data into the LLM and it'll do magic and structure it for me and so forth. So, as we've done implementations, especially enterprise grades, we saw that's not 100% accurate. So if you have certain structure, certain correlations, certain connections between data domains in the data, your AI, especially generative AI, works much better, hallucinate less, gives more accurate answers, can answer more questions and so forth. So, it's very important to think of that data layer. And then on top of the data layer, it's also, I think that will be the area where machine learning operations, MLOps meet generative AI, is to have the algorithms that then, check the integrity of the data, but also do the biasing of the algorithms over time, make sure there is a quality, or as an example I used earlier, check the sentiments of the consumer and so forth. So on these three domains, business domains, technology, infrastructure, and data, those would be kind of things to consider as people engage, and then quickly they can start iterating pilots.
Okay, thank you for that. Anybody else have any thoughts before we move on to the next question?
Sure. I'm happy to share mine. There are a couple of things that everybody mentioned that I strongly agree with, which is you have to do AI. If you don't do AI, it's like, you're in a race where you're walking and everybody else is running. But also, you don't have to try to run faster than everybody, because if not, you're gonna fall short after 100 meters. So AI is great, but AI is not for everything and everywhere. Just try to think about the most urgent need, and also where you have the most differentiated data. Because AI will take you as far as your data can go. And, I don't want to repeat, but several of you mentioned that already. Now, there is a part of your question when you say, when should we communicate to customers? So maybe I'll spend a little bit more time on that. But I would say, there are two things you can do with AI. You can have AI help you be more productive. So you do the same as before, but you do it smarter. Like we have a feature in Bravo where it's called Best Time, and we can send an SMS, an email, or WhatsApp at the best time of the day, where we know each individual open their email and read the email on Monday at 4 p.m., but this other, he read his SMS at noon. So that, you don't necessarily need to disclose, because is everything you do before, you just do it better. But then for things that are completely new to your business, that's where you need to ask yourself the question, what are my customer expectations? I know Raghu talked about the regulation. Of course, you need to look at regulations, but regulation is not the only thing. It's a minimum. the maximum for great customer engagement is to look at, you don't want to create the perception of deception or deceiving customer, making them believe something. So for instance, if you use AI to create a message and send them about confirmation of events, everybody expects a machine to do that, right? So it's not a problem to use AI. You don't have to disclose it. But if you start using AI, and I gave, the chatbot example, but with natural language, now chatbot looks really real. Like it's really cool to talk to ChatGPT, but at one point, there is always a roadblocker. And if you don't do the upfront disclosure, then customers are going to feel deceived. So that's why, depending on if something completely new, where expectation of a customer is, I'm going to talk to a human, I will disclose this right away. That's the only reason when I think we should communicate. We should not communicate because we optimize other things that are more transactional. And of course, regulation, as Raghu mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. Talking to a human is in my opinion, at least, is an essential option for people if they can't get the information they need by, answering chatbots. I think I think we've all experienced responding to a chat and asking 2 or 3 questions and getting frustrated because clearly the chat isn't understanding what we're asking. So providing an option to talk to a human, I think, is a really positive, a positive thing in the customer's mind. So I know we're running a little bit short on time. I'm going to move on to the next question. And I think this is a really important question as well, because it's completely related to all the questions that we've covered before, including the most recent one. And this question is, how do you quantify the impact of AI on customer satisfaction and loyalty? In other words, how do you measure the impact? Are there any specific KPIs that organizations should focus on to measure the success of their AI-powered customer engagement efforts? So why don't we go ahead and let's go back to Dan. And Dan, I'd like to get your perspective on this, please.
Sure. Yeah, they're actually customer loyalty, and that's what it's all about, right? We're trying to improve the customer experience and make them more sticky. I'd say that the kinds of KPIs that you can measure are things like churn in customers. You can measure, and AI can help with this, customer sentiment in terms of communications that you might have through emails and other channels that AI can dip into that data. Average time to process an order, average time to ship. You're dipping into your supply chain and seeing how fast you can turn a product, because that's going to increase your loyalty. So there's a lot of those kinds of KPIs, and then there are surveys and things like that that you can use to measure the customer sentiment anyway on how good of a job you're doing.
Yeah, what do you think, Isabel?
Well, I think there is something they call shadow AI. So first is just like shadow IT, where people were buying application without telling IT, marketing. And I have to say, marketers are the first offenders, are going to set up some AI without telling anybody. So it's going to be hard to benchmark, to be honest, because you don't even know what is. Some employees in my team, they're using ChatGPT to optimize some text on, I don't know, some things they work on. How do I know? I'm not tracking everyone. So first, there is a shadow IT that won't be able to be measured. But if AI is being added to some of your apps, you can follow the same process. You have a historical benchmark. You cannot allocate 100% of the progress to AI because maybe your team is doing stuff better as well. But that's a good indicator. Where you're going to be able to really measure AI is on new initiatives that are very scoped and that are new activities you didn't have, and you're going to see progress. So either a benchmark or new initiative, but to be honest, I think there are going to be a lot of shadow AI. You will see the impact, but you won't even know it's out there.
Very interesting perspective. Raghu, let me come back to you with that same question, please.
Yeah, typically we are very clear with our customers when they are looking at measuring AI-based engagement. I think what we are clear is you don't measure it any differently from how you measure before AI with let's say a human-based customer support, or app-based customer support or customer experience. The reason is AI is coming here and making sure that whatever process that you are doing is amplified and automated, but the work that is doing is something that's already being done. And the way that the customers interact with your platform, I think the way that you measure it is no different. You have the same CSATs, you have the same NPS, first time to resolution, retention rates, conversion rates, all those remain same. And you're measuring how AI is making a positive or negative difference on them. So no change in metrics.
Okay, very good. Let me go, if I may, let's go back to Jason for a minute. Jason, I'd like to get your thoughts on this, please.
Yeah, I was actually going down the path of what Dan was saying, and just kind of looking at the different metrics we have now. But then, as Raghu mentioned, they're the same things we track anyway.
Yeah.
So there is no change in metrics unless this is a new product, something new that you really want to track engagement. But anymore, we're tracking so much in our websites, in our applications. We know what people click on. We know what people use, how often they use it, who they are. So I think that, you'll get that data from whatever tooling you're using anyway to track metrics on page interactions, tool interactions. But yeah, the metrics are the same. And yeah, thank you, Isabel. That's a new term, shadow AI. We're just dealing with shadow IT still, not shadow AI. This is just crazy. But I'm thinking about it. It's exactly what's happening. It is exactly what's happening.
Marketers are very creative, Jason.
They don't wait. They're not waiting for IT.
Well, it seems like it's pretty inevitable that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let me just throw this question out for everyone. If nobody has any comments, that's fine too. Is anyone thinking about any actual human surveys, focus groups, personal phone calls to customers to ask them how they're reacting to this new technology? Anybody doing anything along those lines?
So maybe I can pick that and also join it with the KPI question, because I have a little bit descending point of view. So in terms of like the surveys, we're actually doing sort of constant surveys. Plus, we have actually conversational experience designers who are spending time with customers in focus groups or when designing the flows. So in principle, I think actually what we see, just to share one insight, so we are doing regular consumer survey just for the technology. And we've seen actually last year, sometime mid-year, people kind of, when you ask them about chatbots, they would say, oh, this is something stupid that gets me into the death loop. In majority of answers, not everybody. Actually, now we saw a shift earlier this year. So all of a sudden, people think bots are intelligent, and the word doesn't have such a bad association. So in principle, we see some good trending, and I think people are happy when they can finish their transactional tasks and get answers quickly. That brings me back to KPIs. So I think the way I think of KPIs is like impact KPIs, quality KPIs, operational KPIs. So impact KPIs, I agree with everyone. I think there is no new thing there. When you come to quality, already you can think of few that could measure, quality of the responses, or we spoke about empathy. That would be more survey-based. And then I would say the operational KPIs, actually, we were looking with Gen AI at some very specific operational KPIs, like time for, cloud system to provide an answer. Because when somebody types a question, they don't want to wait 30 seconds for whatever provider we are using to kind of formulate an answer and spill it in. It has to be, milliseconds up to second. So there, actually, you will see some new KPIs pertaining to the technology that actually will come in. But I think, on the consumer layer, you can see some through the survey. So I liked your question. That's why I kind of linked the two in one.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much for that. Anybody have any additional thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, actually, you mentioned, best practices, what customers are asking. So we have a lot of CMO marketing, digital marketing leaders in our customer base. And there is a strong interest, and we're starting doing this, of having best practice sharing meetings, because especially about AI, I did a quick survey and asking them what the next topics you all want to talk when we get together. AI has been extremely popular because it's so new. There is no best practice. It is like the first time, well, it's not new in the marketing tech stack. It's been there for years, but generative AI and the way that now everybody starts using it. So there is the bar is raising for everyone, and everyone wonders, like many of you said before, let's not use it everywhere. Let's use it where it makes sense for us, and where does it make sense for us compared to others. So they are very interesting in discussing best practice and who is exploring what they think is gonna, even what vendors. We have such a plethora of vendors in AI suddenly. They don't even know which one they should spend time on. So just sharing that and which application they use for what is very helpful right now, and they're very eager for it.
Great. So let me interject a question here. At Zuper, we are promoting heavily a philosophy that we refer to as completed service work. And essentially what completed service work means is that when a call center agent or a field service technician or someone is assigned to a job, a work order, a ticket, or whatever, and they answer the question on the ticket, or they finish the triage to help the customer resolve the problem remotely, or the field service technician fixes whatever he or she is fixing. When they're done with that assigned task, what completed service work says is you're not really done yet. You're only done when you anticipate what the customer's next question might be, what the customer's next need might be, what you might be able to offer the customer that would help them do their jobs better. That's when you're done, when you kind of anticipate the next thing that you can do to help the customer. So I believe that's pretty self-explanatory. Let me ask you all, and I'll start with Isabel, actually. How do you think AI can help people deliver the completed service work and have that completed service work culture and philosophy as part of their DNA, so to speak?
Well, I do think a lot of what you describe is based on predictive AI, on looking at the past and trying to, and for me, that's what I was calling hyper personalizations at the beginning. Is everybody's different, and we could not manually track everyone and deliver what they need or even anticipated their need ahead of time. And now AI allows for this, and allows for this in a much faster way than it was done before. You still need a human to say what to do next. They're like to let AI choose the path, no, but identify the path, and then you choose what and how to respond to it is very important. So yes, I think the predictive will help. And back to the metrics, actually, question you had before. Yes, nothing changed in the way we do measurement, but maybe we will be better anticipating, like, Einstein Sales Cloud was anticipating the forecast for the sales team based on past selling patterns. Well, that will be this for almost everything you do along the customer journey, and that's very new.
Yeah. Dan, can I get your thoughts, please?
Sure, yeah. So I think a predictive model would be actually really good here, because I can envision a scenario. Actually, I've seen a scenario where you have a parts manufacturer or a distributor who is selling some parts, and the predictive model can tell which parts go with that and which parts are likely to break, even in assemblies and things like that. And you sell them together, which helps the customer, and of course it improves your profitability as well, right?
Yeah,
a suggestive selling kind of a thing. But I think in your model of the field service, it's perfect actually. You predictive model to say this part goes with this part, and make sure that this assembly has this part or whatever, and that's culturally that's great, right? Because it says, we're service cradle to grave, right? We service the thing the whole way through, and we want to make suggestions or predictions about what will make the experience better for you and in your service.
And Jason, let me come to you and get your thoughts on that question if I can.
Yeah, I was going to say you've defined a path. So the path for this process is going, everything's great, and then there's exceptions to that, and those collect over time, right? You have thousands and thousands of these have occurred, or tens of thousands over the years. And now the AI can react to maybe those unknowns, right? This hasn't happened before. Okay, what would the AI predict would be the best next step or suggest next step? So I think it's very interesting how AI might be able to help here.
Yeah, good. Thanks. So let me ask Raghu and Ivan to just give your thoughts on this question quickly as well. And then I think we need to move on to the final thoughts. So Raghu, let me start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, AI with LLMs and with the latest tech is now having the ability to stitch workflows dynamically, in the sense that there are tasks or workflows that are not predefined, but that can be stitched together and executed through a interaction or conversation, leading to fully solved cases, be it customer support or field support. And those are, again, trained, reinforced on whether it's the right workflow, wrong workflow. I believe that this entire workflow automation is going to get more dynamic and going to be a core part of the end user experience that gets driven from there.
Great. Ivan?
Sorry. So look, predictive maintenance and this kind of stuff was there for a while. Like, for example, Roche Diagnostics even predicts, when will your machine break? And they send technicians before it breaks. So I think now this will be democratized with this technology. So even small companies will be able to do this. But I think more important than that, and I think you hinted that implicitly in your answers, that today's companies are operating in silos. So you have somebody who's dealing with support, somebody with marketing, somebody with sales, somebody with loyalty. And because of internal complexity, the customer journey is fragmented. Now, with what you're saying, and I think with the AI and bringing this data together and having recommendation and honestly technologies that span the whole customer journey, we can turn that into continuum exactly as you described, and have a very personalized approach to individual customers with predictive elements that exist there for some time.
Okay, thank you for that. So we need to move on now to final thoughts, and we're a little bit pressed for time. So let me ask each of you, and I'll start with Dan, to give your final thoughts, please. And if you can, keep it under 1 minute, please.
Sure, I'll try. So one of the really interesting things for me at being an enterprise software and ERP manufacturing type guy is the impact of AI that it's going to have on process modeling and speeding up implementations. Because I think that in the customer context, customers of ERP software vendors need to have this kind of capability to really speed up the implementations and make the process flow exploration much faster and much better. So that's what I'm looking to see soon in the market.
Okay, great. Isabel, brevity, please.
Yes. So I think there are 3 things in the marketing field I'm excited about. The micro segmentation, which we could do already, but we could not execute on. So let's have hundreds of market segments instead of 5 or 6, because now we can do hyper personalization with generative AI. So I'm very excited about that. And then the last point that you touched upon with prediction, and use this content and these micro segments to each have a personalized customer journey that will predict the next touch point, and even over which channels, SMS, WhatsApp, email, that's best for the customer. I think we are in the age of hyper-personalization, and marketing is going to really transform.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Raghu, please.
I believe the evolution of AI would be similar to what we have seen self-driving cars, which was unfathomable a few years back. And I believe the entire customer experience would surprise us on how much of automation and zero-touch experience that AI can deliver there. We would be in for a surprise of how empathetic and how intelligent it can be in the coming years.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be very interesting few years ahead. Jason.
Be very brief, because Ivan had one word: democratization. That any company, large and small, can approach this now. It's not only for the big dogs who have high-end machine learning guys or data guys, data scientists. So democratization is really what's going to move this forward for every company in the world.
Oh, that's a very, very good point. Thanks for that observation. Lastly, Ivan, I don't mean lastly.
That's
Lastly, and
okay.
most important.
I'm very easy. So I will also be very brief. I think we will see, I'm actually very excited with radical transformation of customer experience into conversational experiences, especially, as the younger generations like Gen Z and others are entering consumer pool. By 2030, they might be even 30%. This will be critical for businesses, but honestly, all of us will also get a much more convenience from this technologies in a way. So that really kind of makes me excited. And then, I can spend my time being empathetic and loving and not doing transactional tasks. Hopefully technology will offload that for me.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for everyone. And just as for my final thoughts, I think this is, I'm honored to be part of this discussion. I think it's a very compelling discussion, and we're going to see some amazing things coming in the next few years. And I personally am very excited about how I think AI can help us deliver on the philosophy that we believe in so strongly, and that's the philosophy of completed service work. So I'm really looking forward to see how companies will use AI to kind of cement that behavior amongst their, not just their field service technicians, but their entire customer service force, all their agents, call center agents, service representatives, even salespeople. So I'm really looking forward to that. Jonathan?
Yes, thank you one and all for that great discussion. It's been a pleasure listening to it. Before we wrap up the show, though, I'd love to invite each of you an opportunity to give some self-promo, whether you want to plug your company solution, your own personal podcast or blog or LinkedIn profile. I'll give you each 30 seconds or so, and we'll go counterclockwise, starting with Raghu.
Yellow will enable enterprises to automate 90% plus of your customer support, and give us a shot on our website, www.yellow.ai.
Thank you very much. Over to Jason.
Thank you. Yep. Infragistics, as I mentioned, has multiple types of tools, low code, BI, and a digital workplace, digital collaboration. I'd encourage you to check out Slingshot, which we're really excited about in terms of how we can help digital collaboration with AI. That's at slingshotapp.io.
Thank you very much. And Ivan, where would you like to send the audience?
So I would like to send the audience on infobip.com. So Infobip is an enterprise-grade cloud communications platform that can help companies embrace the next wave of digital transformation and build what I call third digital asset, conversational experience to transform their customer journeys with generative AI and rich communications, be it marketing, be it sales, or be it support. So reach out to us and our partners like Yellow for further discussion.
Excellent. Nicely said. Isabel.
Well, so Bravo is a CRM company and marketing automation. You will tell me, well, it's a very mature market, so what do we need one more player? Because existing solutions are quite complex and expensive. Every add-on has to be paid, just like AI, but not with us. We are one of the most approachable CRM, very easy to use, and you pay as your business grows. So give it a try. We have a free trial on bravo.com.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next, over to Dan, I believe.
Yes, hi. So my website is Merino Consulting Services. That's MERINO consultingservices.com. We're a digital transformation and ERP software implementation firm.
Quick and to the point. Last but not least, our moderator, Michael.
Yeah, and my company is Zuper, Z-U-P-E-R, and that means extremely super. And our website is zuper.co. I want to emphasize .co, not .com. Zuper is the producer of field service management software. We're proud of our software from the standpoint that it is extremely easily customizable and configurable by the customers themselves, so they can quite easily match the software to their business rather than matching their business to the software. So I would just encourage you to visit the website again, zuper.co. Thank you.
Thank you, one and all. And since we have a little bit of time left, I'll do some of my own self-promotion, and that's to recommend everyone go check out insightjam.com. It's the newest community portal from Solutions Review. We've just crossed 600 members this morning. We're really excited about it. We're gathering experts, videos, predictions, best practices, articles, and more all in one spot. And you can click the link in the description of this video to go check it out right now and sign up. And we hope we see you over there. But for now, I have the pleasure of teasing our next event coming up in just a few short minutes, how to harness generative AI in the enterprise with real use cases. And Dan Aldridge is going to be sticking around for that one. So you don't want to go anywhere. But for now, let me thank this group of panelists for your time and all of your expertise. It has been a pleasure listening.
Yeah, as the moderator, let me thank people too. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
one. We'll see you for the next panel.
See you guys. Thank you.